Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of Pretty Lonesome. It kind of looks like I'm going to tell you a scary story, and for that I do kind of apologize. I am in my car right now. It's actually not that late. It's 11:39 at night, and I got the urge to do a podcast episode in the dark in the car. I thought it'd be cozy, and I just have a lot to say, so I thought we would all get together and talk. I've had a really long day, don't know about you guys. I woke up at 6 a.m. today and drove all the way to London, which took me way too long because I went during rush hour, and then I got back to my house at like 7 p.m. and I've just been, I actually don't know where the time went in between then and now. I'm really hungry. I forgot to eat dinner, so I'm going to probably order. I don't think I'm sleeping tonight. I don't know why. I just get this feeling that it's suddenly going to be 4 a.m. and I'm going to be eating a bowl of pasta, which is really fun. I haven't had one of those nights in a long time. I find them rejuvenating. Sometimes they're more rejuvenating than sleep, to me. Anyways, but let's talk. I think the reason I'm actually dying to yap right now is because I was really sick this week. It was Paris Fashion Week this entire week. I didn't put an episode out this last week because I was so ill, and I've really only just got better. I came down with tonsillitis at Chapel Roan. So I went to a Chapel Roan concert, and my sister, we were so excited to go, and she was like, "Do you want a glass of wine?" And I was like, "Yeah." I had the first sip of this glass of wine, and like it made this one tonsil or like this one lymph node in my throat. Like I felt it as I swallowed the wine, and I was like, that was weird. And she was like, but anyway, I kept drinking because I'm an idiot. And then suddenly realized the wine wasn't making me like feel good, and I was feeling really tired and like run down. And this one side of my throat was really hurting. Brushed it off, went to Chapel Roan. The whole time I'm at the concert, I didn't want to drink, and I'm thinking like, my throat's really not like going away. Anyway, the next morning, you know when you like start to feel your throat get sore, and you just know like when you go to sleep that night, when your throat starts getting sore, you know you're gonna wake up the next day like in hell. That's what happened to me. I went to bed, half of my throat was sore, and when I woke up, it was like the biggest tonsil I've probably ever had in my life, and I've had tonsillitis a lot of times. This was like the biggest I think it's ever got. Like I couldn't swallow, or like I felt like I could barely breathe. Like my throat was like halfway closed. It felt like there was literally like a big blockage. It was disgusting, and it just got worse from that point on. That day I got antibiotics. I was like, I'm not wasting any time. Do you want to know why I got antibiotics so quickly? I used to be someone who was really anti-antibiotics. Anti-antibiotics, lol. Like, I wouldn't take them if I didn't have to, because they're really bad for you. Like, they're genuinely horrible for you, and unless you need them, I feel like it's good to try and, like, fight the illness without taking them, right? That's what I used to say. And then one time, I had, like, what I thought was tonsillitis, and I decided I was going to fight it without antibiotics. Bitch, I went fucking deaf. Like, the infection spread to every part of my body, including my ears, and I went deaf, and my ears were bleeding. It was so violently gross. I learnt my lesson because I was deaf for like a good 3 months, and I just don't want to do that again. And I had tonsillitis for a really fucking long time too. So now I just take the fucking antibiotics. So I call up my doctor on the first day of me really being ill, and he sent me them. The next day, like the next exact day, I had to go to Paris Fashion Week. I have never taken a +1 to Paris Fashion Week. This year, I took my mum and my sister because I live a really special life, I think. Like, I am seeing things that I never thought I would get to see. I am meeting people I never thought I would get to meet. I'm staying in hotels I never thought I would get to stay at. Like, this whole world is just new to me, and I knew it would be new to them as well, and I really wanted to take them. And, like, I've been wanting to like, show my mum some cool stuff for a long time, and, like, she's never been anywhere with me. So I decided I was going to take both of them because my sister's visiting from New Zealand right now, so I was like, perfect timing. So I was like, I'm going to take them both to Paris Fashion Week, and it's going to be so cool, and I'm going to show them stuff, and we're going to have so much fun. No, I had like violent tonsillitis the whole fucking time. So it's the morning we're going to Paris, and I am so ill I can't speak. Like, I've stopped trying to speak because it's so painful, and also my voice sounds weird as fuck. We get the Eurostar, and I had worn like a COVID mask because I didn't want to make everyone on the train sick, and also like I didn't want anyone to look at me, and I didn't want anyone to come up and like speak to me and me have to speak back. So like the mask was just a good way for me to be like, I'm sick, like don't approach me, it's disgusting, I'll get you ill. And then everyone just spoke to my mum and my sister instead, like, because they could see that I was not going to be helpful. Like, even the people at like the security line, like they didn't even try and speak to me. It was amazing. Like, a mask really does wonders when you're sick. Anyway, we get the Eurostar, and my mum and my sister are like drinking champagne and like having so much fun, all the things that I want to do, and I'm sat next to them in a hoodie, hood up, COVID mask on, sweating, shaking. Actually, I wasn't sweating or shaking, but I just felt stinky even though I had just showered, you know? In so much pain, can't speak. we sit down next to these two people, and you know when you just look at somebody and you're like, damn, you look rich. Like, they don't even have to be wearing anything nice. You just look at them and you're like, I don't know, you just look like you've got money. Like, something about your face tells me, like, rich. Like, very much. Actually, no, I know why I thought that. I thought that because subconsciously I had seen her in a movie where she played a rich woman. That's why. I was like, why did I think she looked rich? That's why. I'm looking at her and I'm like, I know your face, but like, I don't even care to try and guess because I know I'm not going to get it. I'm looking at her and I'm like, who is this woman? And I can't figure it out. And I pass out. I'm like asleep. If you don't know, the Eurostar is like a 2-hour train from London to Paris. So I go to sleep and I'm like waking up intermittently from my fever dreams and seeing my mum and my sister talk to these other two people that we're sat with. At one point, the guy asked my mum, like, what are you guys doing in Paris? And my mum was telling him, like, oh, my daughter is going to, like, the fashion shows and blah, blah. And I remember he asked what shows I was going to. And she was like, oh, she's doing, like, Acne and Chanel and Garni. And the guy had said, like, oh, we're doing Christian Dior. And then my little ears perked up and I was like, who is this man? Like, they're going to Christian Dior. Like, I know who he is. And I know who she is. And I can't figure out why. Guys, I fever dream the rest of the way to Paris, and then we get off the train, and my sister is like, I think it was, oh fuck, what was her name? I forgot her name. Anyway, I'm gonna get my editor to insert her name here. That was her name. And to think that I was sat right next to her, like passed out, like fever dreaming and smelling. Not my favorite anecdote of myself, really and truly. But that was how we started out Paris Fashion Week. And I was kind of thrilled because I had always told my mum, like, you always see someone crazy when you travel during Fashion Week. Like, it's just a rule. You are going to, like, see crazy people. Like, one time I got the Eurostar and Boris Johnson was on the train, literally, like, one set of seats away from me. And I'm pretty sure he had his, like, entire cabinet with him. It was really weird. And then, like, there's just been so many instances where I'm like, why are you going to Paris on the Eurostar right now? Was Boris Johnson going to Fashion Week? Like, I'm sure he wasn't, and I'm joking. But, like, do you not have, like, a secure car system for this? Like, it just seems dangerous. I don't know. What if I really, really hated you, you know? Because, like, a lot of people kind of do, you know? Like, a lot of people. Anyways, none of my business, but just thought it was weird. Just flagging, you know? But, anyway, we get to Paris. I'm so ill, and they hung out in my room for a while. We were all staying in the same hotel. They like hung out in my room for a while, and then I just went to bed, and I slept for nearly 15 hours. And then I woke up the next day, and my penicillin was starting to kick in, and I felt a little bit better. And then I went to the Garni show, and I survived the Garni show. If I went to the Garni show one day earlier, like, I would genuinely don't know if I'd have been able to do it. Like, I think I would have passed out because I was like so weak and feeble. I got better, and then I went to the Acne show, and then after the Acne show, there was an Acne dinner. After the Acne dinner, I went to the Eiffel Tower, and I met my mum and my sister in the Eiffel Tower. They were there, like, having fun. And then we went to go look at the Eiffel Tower from, like, far away, because it's actually kind of boring. Once you get inside the Eiffel Tower, you realize there's not much to look at in Paris. Like, why go to a viewpoint from inside the Eiffel Tower when you want to be looking at the Eiffel Tower because you're in fucking Paris, you know? Because if you climb the Eiffel Tower and you look at Paris from up high, you're just literally looking at any other city. Like, you may as well be in Frankfurt. They look the same. You go to Milan, you know? You want to look at Paris because it's got the Eiffel Tower, and the Eiffel Tower is pretty, but you can't see it if you're inside of it. So I never really understand why people go up there to look at things. And then we went home. So we were only in Paris for like 2.5 days, I think. And then we all came home because my sister was going back to New Zealand. At which point, the day we came home, I started to feel, I was completely better, basically, from my tonsillitis. Like, my tonsils weren't really swollen. My throat didn't hurt. I didn't feel ill. I'd been on penicillin for nearly 4 days. So I'd nearly finished the course, like antibiotics. And I was like, yay, I'm like fixed. And I had only really been like super ill for like a day or two, like maybe 2.5 days. I was like, wow, that was great, you know? And then I felt a little tickle in the back of my throat. And I was like, that's weird. Did I not take all my penicillin? And I went to bed that night thinking, this will blow over because it has to. And then I woke up the next morning to a full-blown fucking sore throat. Not the tonsillitis kind, just the kind where you have knives in your throat and it's burning. And I thought, brilliant. I managed to catch the flu. Now, the Fashion Week is kind of just like riddled with illness because everyone's busy, everyone's rushed, everyone's breathing the same air, coughing, fucking, you know, emphasis on the fucking. It's like a bit of a cesspit of sexy people, so it's okay, but it is kind of not the most, like, it's common, I feel, to get ill, especially if you do more than one show. I'd only done one show at this point, by the way. I must have got this. I got tonsillitis from somewhere in Milan, and then I must have got the flu in Paris. Sucks. Anyway, so I came home from Paris, came down with the flu after I had just recovered from tonsillitis the day before. And this time it was worse because you can't take antibiotics for the flu. You just have to suffer. So there I am suffering. And I had only come home from Paris to wave my sister off at the airport because I had to be back in Paris the next day for the Chanel show. So I had spent all this like time and effort coming home to spend one last day with my sister, and I couldn't even speak to her. I felt so bad. I spent the whole day in bed, and then I went to the airport and like waved her off and like said maybe 3 words to her. I literally couldn't speak. And I was like delusional, like had such a high temperature. I had a fever. I was like ill. Like I was unwell and I couldn't speak. And it was gross. Came home, went to bed, woke up the next morning at like 6 a.m. and went back to Paris. Still very unwell. I got to the Eurostar. I sat down, defeated. Second illness within a 7-day period. I'm in pajamas. I'm wearing another COVID face mask. And I feel something happen in my ovaries. And I think that's weird. And so what do? I go to the toilet. And what do I see? Blood. Guys, I started my period. And at that point, I just kind of admitted defeat. I sat in the Eurostar lounge and I cried quite publicly. And mind you, this is during Fashion Week. Like everyone and their mums is getting on the Eurostar, and I'm sat in the lounge where they're all waiting to get on the Eurostar. And I'm crying into a COVID mask. It wasn't great. When I got done crying, it was time to board the train. So I go to board the train and I see 2 friends of mine, and they recognized me through my mask because I'd posted on my story that I was crying in the Eurostar tunnel. And then I'm like trying to board the train and I hear this little voice come from behind me. There she is. And I turn around and it's my friends. And I don't know, I can't even explain to you how weirdly relieved I was to just see someone familiar. I felt like I was like fighting for my life in the trenches. And then I had seen like an ally and I was like, yeah, you'll help me. I don't know. Can you help me? If I pass out on the floor, will you please pick me up? It just was nice to see someone there that was familiar. And then I got into conversation with them. I literally saw them and I was like, don't hug me, like don't because they both kind of like came in to like be like, hey, and I was like, genuinely keep your distance. And they're like, oh, you look really sick. I was like, no, yeah, I'm not, like genuinely just don't do it to yourself. I am like an incubus of the plague, like stay away. But then I got into conversation with them and I think it like helped me come out of like, sometimes when you're really ill, nothing can help. And sometimes when you're on day 2 or day 3 of an illness, you need to speak to someone and have a meal. And sometimes that will like actually help, maybe shower. And like that conversation was the thing that like made me feel better. And I was so relieved because I was like, I sat on the Eurostar and I stayed awake the whole time after I'd had that conversation with my friends. And I like did work on my computer and I felt really nauseous and I was like taking painkillers, but I stayed awake. And it was the first time I'd stayed awake for more than like 4 hours in like a week. So that was nice. Got to Paris, went to bed. The next day, I had I don't know how many hours. It was an 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. photo shoot. So whatever the maths for that is. And then whilst I was on set, my mum texted me that my rabbit died. Mind you, at this point, I'm still on my period and I'm still unwell. But I was feeling much better. Like my body was not sick anymore. It was just like my head, if that makes sense. Like my body was like mostly back to normal. It was just like a head cold and like my throat was like mostly better. But like there's a very distinct difference when you're ill between like being completely unable to do anything and being able to do something. And I could go to my shoot, you know? And then my mom texted me, she was like, my rabbit was called Daisy. I never really spoke about her, but she was like, Daisy's dying. I'm taking her to the vet. She's had a stroke. And I was like, oh, but I had a really good shoot though. Everyone was so nice. I don't think I can say what it was for or like who or like where. But you'll see it when you see it. And I think it comes out in December. So that's fun. And it was actually a really exciting day for me. Just like, it was one of those days where I was like proud of myself, you know? I was like, this is cool. I'm like excited to be doing this right now. I don't know. And then it was just one of those moments, you know, where you just want to hang your head and be like, oh boy. Like, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I feel a little bit roughed up. I feel a little bit like I would like to go to bed. That's how I felt, you know? At the end of that day, so I did that photo shoot, and then I went to, where the hell did I go after? Oh, I went to a little meeting, and then I went out Actually, I went and got dinner with Alex that night. It was really fun. It was nice to see her. And then I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. Even though I'd been up all that time and I'd been ill, I couldn't sleep until 4 a.m. I fell asleep at 4 a.m. and then I woke up at 6 a.m. because that was the time I had to get ready for the Chanel show. Unfortunately for me, I woke up like 20 minutes late. Actually, it was like 10. Actually, I think it was only 7. Not gonna lie. But no, it's probably more like 15. And my agent and my hairstylist were like sat in the hallway outside my hotel room, like waiting for me to wake up. They had been calling me. They'd been buzzing my room. My alarms have been going off. I didn't hear any of it until I did. But I've been dreaming. My dream. So my agent's name is McKay, right? She's one of my PR agents. And in my dream, I had been going to my sister, you never pick up when McKay calls. Like, don't pick up. If McKay calls, don't answer. And that struck me as weird even in the dream because I always answer if McKay calls. And McKay does call, you know? And I love when she calls. And I think just that sense of unease of like, why am I saying this? I feel like there's a reason I should pick up when McKay calls today, but I don't know why. Mixed with the doorbell, the phone, and the alarms all ringing simultaneously, something shook me out my sleep. And I realized, you need to answer your fucking phone, McKay is calling. And so then I answered my phone and McKay indeed was calling and she was outside my room. Anyways, we made it through the Chanel show unscathed. We did it. We got ready in time. No one was late. And they weren't angry at me for sleeping in past 10 minutes, which is really nice. I had the best time in Paris this fashion month. I literally had so much fun. I feel like the shows that I went to were really good. Like, I loved the outfit that I wore for Acne. I loved the outfit that I wore for Chanel. I had fun at Gucci. I loved my outfit there as well. I had a good time. Like, everywhere I went was just good. I met really nice people. I went to really fun events, cool parties. I went to good shows. I wore good outfits and I felt really good. Interestingly, though, despite this being the most fun I've ever had probably in my life and probably also getting the most compliments I've ever got in my life, really weirdly, I've never been more insecure about my face, which is really strange. And I think it's partly because it's not just my face, my whole entire situation, my face, my body, everything. It's really weird. I don't know what's going on. And I was thinking maybe it's just because I'm on my period and like fashion month on your period or fashion week on your period is like kind of rough because I don't know about you guys, but like whenever I'm like hormonal, like whether that be like PMS or I'm on my period or it's that one fucking phase, the luteal one. I also think I get weird when I ovulate, but that's for another time. But like whenever my hormones are like doing something, I really fucking hate myself and it's really annoying. But like not myself, just my body. And like I'm so uncomfortable in it and I feel like I'm 14 again. Like it's that same feeling of like guilt and shame for having flesh. It comes back about twice a month and it's horrible. But I've had that like all fashion month and I don't know why. I think partly it is because I've lost, like I said in my vlog the other day, like I've lost weight and I hate that. I really don't like the weight I am right now. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I also, for me, this current state of my body is really reflective of like pain, if that makes sense, because I know that the reason that I've dropped some weight is just through like stress and like being hurt and upset and like whatever and just like being in a phase of my life where I'm just a little bit stressed and a little bit maybe hurt. And so I'm like, that makes it feel even worse and also just genuinely not liking the way that this looks on me or really on anyone. Like I wouldn't like this on anyone. This isn't, I think that you can tell I'm too skinny and I hate that. And I want to look healthy and I want to feel healthy and I don't. And I think like fashion month is particularly challenging because you have to pay so much attention to what you look like. Like I'm seeing pictures everywhere, which is so fun. But like also I'm perceiving myself a lot more than I like usually just would. And it's probably not the healthiest for me. But no one else seems to have an issue with it. And like I've seen probably more nice comments than bad ones. I don't know. Like maybe I don't know. I haven't seen anything online to make me think that like I should be insecure or not should be insecure, but like to spur that feeling. I just feel really insecure and it's weird because like if anything, people are telling me like you look good. And I'm like, I genuinely feel so ashamed of my body and my face right now that I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I'm having fun at this party, but I want to go home because I think I'm fucking ugly. And it's crazy that that even has like so much power over me to make me want to leave or like change something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like never in my life before has my perception of the way that I look mattered in a way. Like I feel like before, like a couple of years ago, if I'd have felt really ugly, maybe I wouldn't have wanted to go out or maybe I would have wanted to like leave wherever I was, but it wouldn't be like such a strong feeling. I would just be like, yeah, I look a bit ugly, you know? would rather not be here, but I look a bit ugly, whatever. Now, it literally is like all I feel. Like if I feel ugly, that's what I feel. I feel ugly. And nothing else really matters. Like it's not hungry, it's not sad, it's not happy, it's not excited, it's not like tired, it's not my back aches, it's I'm ugly. Nothing else. I don't feel anything else now because I'm ugly. Then it's crazy. And I think it's probably just because I feel like I'm being perceived more, but it's really fucking annoying. And I don't know why I think I'm so ugly, because it's like the more I see almost, I don't know, that doesn't make any sense, but it's been like challenging because I have felt ugly before in my life many times for many years. And at certain points in my life, it was an assumption I made about myself. It wasn't even a feeling. It wasn't even like a fear. It was just like, I'm not an attractive person and it doesn't bug me, was how I felt for a long time about myself, and kind of came to terms with it, I think. And then there's been other times in my life where like how I feel about myself is more important. But lately, I have literally been obsessing over what my body looks like and what my face looks like and what my hair looks like. And it's so boring. It's so fucking boring, and I don't know how to stop. And it's like, it doesn't matter how much positive reinforcement I get about, oh, she looks great, or, oh, like I could wear an outfit and someone could take a picture of me in the outfit and I'll see a comment and it's like talking about how good they think I look in that outfit, in that picture. And I'll look at the picture and I'll be like, you're right. I looked really good in that picture, I'm not gonna lie. It's a great angle, great lighting, but unfortunately that is a fluke and I looked really ugly that whole day. And I can't get out of that headspace of just like anything good I see about myself, I'm like, yeah, well, it's a shame it was a anomaly, you know? I don't know. Kind of dumb. I've never felt insecure as badly as I have right now. Let's put it like that. As a kid, I always felt insecure because I was really, really, really skinny and I was kind of odd looking. I think I'm still really odd looking. I think I look a bit like an alien. I don't know. I think my features are alien-esque, especially right now. As a kid, my eyes were too big for my face and my ears were kind of too big for my head a little bit. And I was really, really skinny and I've got big knees. Still do, but as a kid, they were huge. And this weird face, and I kind of knew that I was odd looking as a kid. And looking back, I think I was a cute kid, but I never felt it. And I don't think anyone at my school would have thought that I was like fit into the category of like being an attractive person. Like I wasn't getting bitches in primary school, you know? So I always felt like that was something that stood out badly about me, was like I looked funny and I didn't fit the mold and I didn't look good in clothes and I wasn't cool. That was kind of a complex for me for like many years, actually still is. And things can ignite that feeling, and something has done it recently and I don't really know what. But I found myself getting really surprised when people would speak to me. Like, for example, I went to an after party, and a lot of the time when big fashion brands have like runway shows, the models that walk the runway will be at the after parties. And so that means it's like very attractive fucking, like the most beautiful people you can imagine are at these after parties. And I think anyone would find that a little bit intimidating. Also, they're like fucking 7 feet tall. Hello. Like, scary. Anyway, I was sat at this after party and this model came up to speak to me, and we were just having like a very normal conversation, like very, very average. I've probably had that conversation with 500 other people in my life, and at least a few of them have been models the same as her. But for some reason, I could not wrap my head around the fact that this person was speaking to me, and I felt so beneath them. They did nothing to make me feel that way, by the way. I just felt so incredibly inferior to this person just purely because of the way that they looked, that I literally was being so fucking weird. I couldn't even hold a conversation with them, just like not even treating myself like an equal. But I couldn't stop. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I don't speak, this isn't even how I communicate. I don't sound like this and I don't speak like this. It was so weird. But yeah, I'm really insecure at the moment. I feel like insecure is the wrong word. I just like think I'm ugly. And I wish it didn't matter to me so much. Like, I wish I could just be like, ugh, I think I'm ugly. Oh well, you know? But that's not how I feel. And it's probably a reflection of what I do for work. And it's probably a reflection of being at Fashion Month. And I'm sure it all makes a lot of sense. It's just like really exhausting because I've never felt this way before. And I've never really had to care about the way I look. Like I've just, I don't know, like it was never a currency for me, if that makes sense. Like when I was at university, it didn't matter if I was pretty or ugly that much because I was studying academics, and everyone knows that pretty privilege exists and it's very lovely to have it in the world. But I wasn't going to be out of work if I was fucking ugly because I was studying forensic linguistics. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't of the same importance to me as I guess it is now, where I'm like, if I don't look good, not only can everyone tell me that I don't fucking look good, and I'm gonna have to hear it, but I actually won't get invited back. You know what I mean? It's just like this weird, unhealthy thing. I don't know. And it's just like, that's also the reason I hate doing photo shoots. Like, if you ever see me doing a fucking photo shoot, just know I'm uncomfortable. And I'm getting a lot better at doing them. Like, you guys, if you could have seen me when I first started doing photo shoots, oh my fucking God. Mind you, I was a model as a child, okay? I started modeling when I was like 4 years old. And I quit when I was about 10. And the reason I quit was because I refused to smile on set. They would literally have to like, they would be dancing. But I have the same problem now, by the way. I have never changed a day in my life. When I was a kid, they used to have to dance behind the cameras, dance behind the lights to try to get me to crack a fucking smile because I would refuse because I was embarrassed and shy and I thought I was ugly. And actually I didn't think I was ugly. I didn't know that looks were why I was there. I didn't know what modeling was. I thought everyone kind of did it, but I was just really shy and embarrassed, so that's why I like wouldn't smile for the camera because I was like, no, that's weird. Also, like, everyone knows a smize is better, so you know, I was just ahead of my time, really and truly. But even now, like, I find it so uncomfortable to be on set, and I do it. I've got a lot better at it, but my whole life I've hated it, and I love the result. I love being in a magazine, but I don't love shooting the magazine. It's just uncomfortable for me. It's like, I don't like being in front of a camera very much. Well, I like being in front of my own one. I don't like being in front of a big one with a random photographer behind it on a set. It's scary to me. It's uncomfortable to me. It always has been. I don't think it's comfortable for most people. Like, I really admire models. I don't know how the fuck they do it. I quit at 10. Couldn't hack it. Somehow fell back into a similar line of work. Terrifying. Still to this day, like, I so empathize with my fucking 10-year-old self because this shit's so scary. I struggle with being on set because it's a whole day where I have to be like aware of how I look for 10 hours straight, and that is torture. Like, I don't know how else to put that. That's torture. Like, that's so unfucking natural and so horrible, and to me it's just not fun. Like, I don't want to know ever, let alone for 10 hours straight. I don't know. Like, that's just not my idea of fun, you know? But the shoot that I did in Paris, I'm not gonna lie, I had a really good time because people on set were so nice. And the outfits we did were fun and I felt really comfortable in them, which is always nice. And you know what the most important thing was? They had a heater for me. It's always fucking cold because everyone is dressed all day except you, if you're the model or the talent. You have to get naked like 50 times. You have to change outfits all the time. And most of the outfits are like smaller than what everyone else is wearing. Like, it's usually like little pieces. And I always end up just being cold the whole time. This time they had like a space heater like pointed at me the whole time. Oh, it was so nice. But yeah, don't know, weirdly insecure. And weirdly it's making me really sad too, because I just feel like it's taking up some space in my head that I'm like, whoa, my glasses like really hurting my ears. I'm like, I feel like this space could be probably used with something a bit more productive than me just sat there worrying about what my skin looks like and what my eyebrows look like. I don't know. I feel like this is just a phase of my life where I feel like if I was looking at this 2 years ago, I would be like, wow, she must feel really good about herself. Like, I don't know. I would think that this would be a point in my life where I'd feel really confident because I would see myself like being at all these fashion shows and like doing all these types of events. And I would think, wow, like she must really know what she's doing and like feel good about herself. Like, why wouldn't she? Like, it doesn't really make sense that I'm not. That's kind of why I'm confused. I don't know. Anyway, I got back from Paris Fashion Week and Chanel was yesterday and I just about recovered from my flu by the time I did Chanel. Or like recovered enough that like a painkiller makes you okay, you know? So I did the Chanel show. That was amazing. Life-changing stuff. It was really fucking cool. The outfits were insane. The collection was insane. Every time I have any kind of interactions with Chanel, it blows my mind because I always have said that's like my biggest like if people were to ask me like what's your aspirational brand, I would have always told them Chanel, probably from like age 3. Like, what's one brand you would want to wear if you could? I'd have said Chanel. Probably wouldn't have, but like probably didn't know what Chanel was until I was like 20. But it's like so insane that I get to go. So I went to Chanel, got the train home the same day, got home at like 7 p.m, straight to bed, bitch. I literally fell on my face in my bed. Got up this morning at 6 a.m. and drove to London because I had to go to the fucking embassy and then did a photo shoot, drove home,
Please log in with your profile.
What?
I'm waiting.
You're waiting? I hate that bitch so fucking much. Listen, when AI rises, I will be the first to go because the way I speak to Alexa is one thing. The way I speak to my Mercedes is despicable. And it's how I know that if I was a man, I just wouldn't be a good one because I think that this is how they feel about women. Like the way I feel about fucking Alexa, that must be how men feel about their wives. And it's like such a primal rage. I know it doesn't come from estrogen. I know that's a testosterone rage. That is a deeply masculine rage and it is ancestral and it's so disturbing. Like Alexa opens her big fat mouth and I see red. God forbid she have an opinion on something. You know what I mean? God forbid she give me information that's not warranted. God forbid I ask her to play a fucking song and she tells me I need to buy more Amazon Prime. Bitch, I have Amazon Prime. I don't know what more you want from me, okay? What more does Alexa want from me? I don't know. Anyway, this Mercedes bitch. Sorry, let me actually not become a misogynist over this. This Mercedes AI, she'll pipe up when no one speaks to her, and that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. I'll be having a normal conversation, and I won't say any buzzwords, and she'll just start talking. Who asked you? Not me. I didn't. It really, 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 really rubs me the wrong fucking way. Anyway, and then the one time I do call upon her, you know, the one time I say, hey, could you please turn on my seat kinetic? She says, sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Of course you don't. You wouldn't, right? But really and truly, it does disturb me because there's no other person on earth that I feel the kind of rage towards that I feel about AI. And I'm so certain that I will pay a price for that in my lifetime. I'm sure I will. There's no way we're making it to like, okay, I've made this mistake before. I always think it's the year 3000 that I'm going to live till if I live to 100. It's not. It would be the year 2100. Yeah, 2100. Oh, fuck, what's the year called right now? 20. Whoa, what year are we in? 2003? No, we're in 2021. No, we're not. Guys, help, I'm really scared. Okay, we're in 2024. When it gets to that year, there's no way we're getting that far without there being some kind of major like world event where AI becomes like a humongous problem. And I'll be their first fucking victim. I really will. Although me and ChatGPT have a very strong relationship, I think. I'm always polite, almost always polite. Even when I ask him to try again and again and again and try a bit harder, try again, be funnier, be cuter, be sexier. He usually gets it eventually, and I usually say thank you, so it's fine. I still have so much snot in my nose. This is actually doesn't sound that gross right now, but the way I've been trying, you know, when people are sniffling and you can hear that they have snot in their mouth, guys, that's one thing I really just can't tolerate in public. Like, I get that public spaces are shared spaces. Okay, if there's a screaming baby, I'm not gonna bitch about it. I will in my head, but that's it. Like, I'm not gonna bitch about the screaming baby. I'm not gonna bitch about the person loudly on the phone. I'm not gonna piss about? You know what I mean? Like, I'm tolerant. What I can't do is when men, and it's only men, women don't do this. I literally almost would swear on my life that I've never seen a woman do this. When they hock it back up in the back of their throat from their nose, like, die, die, die. It tells me so much about you if you're willing to do that in public. Oh, the blatant lack of disregard for everyone else's sanity is repulsive. And your penis stinks. I just know it. Like, I just know it does. I can't tell you how else I could describe that. If you hock your fucking phlegm or your snot in public, like into the back of your throat, God forbid you swallow it. I'm actually going to stop talking about that because I'm going to retch. It's so unpleasant. I don't even mind. If you spit in public, I think it's gross, but that doesn't gross me out as much as what I just described does, especially if I can, I can hear it. You know everyone can hear that when you, okay, sorry, I'm not even going to do that again. And anyway, I was sniffling a lot in public, like this, but with proper nose snot. Sorry, gross. But I was, and I felt so bad about it because I was not doing the thing, but I was like a lot, and it just made me feel gross and dirty and smelly and stinky, not ideal. So tomorrow is the first day I'm gonna really not have anything to do in a long time. It's not even it's been that long since I've not done anything. It's just I've been really ill and I've been really busy whilst I've been ill, and I'm not very good at functioning through illness because I'm a baby. To put it very fucking simply, I'm a baby, and I don't like doing things when I'm ill, especially with a sore throat. I hate having a sore throat so much but just illness in general. I'm a baby, like, about all illness. And I don't know, it's been a lot of like late nights and a lot of early mornings and just a lot of going places and doing things and trying to look hot through it all. God, it's been hard. One could shed a tear, you know? But I am joking. But I'm excited to like go the fuck to bed. Like, I just want to lay in bed and know that I don't have to be up at 6 a.m. And it's going to be really nice to just know that I'm just going to fall asleep and just wake up when my body wants me to, which will probably be 7 a.m. Brilliant. I'm also starving hungry. I think I'm going to go eat a load of pasta. But generally in life, I feel like I'm experiencing my life again, which is really nice. I've been journaling and I've been just like doing little things that make me feel like I'm alive. Those are things I've neglected for a really, 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 really long time. And it's nice. And it was nice to bring my family to Fashion Month, like, or Fashion Week. That's an insane thing to be able to do. Like, I don't know, to show them that, to be able to show them that, to be able to even see it myself is crazy. To be able to show them that is crazier. And it's been like a very hard and sick week, but it's been like one of the most probably memorable of my life. And the good thing is I won't remember that I had massive tonsils or a sore throat or a fever or a headache or the body chills or whatever the fuck. I won't remember any of it because you never do. I'll just remember that like I got to bring my mum and my sister to the spring summer fashion week 2025, and that'll be it. That'll be my memory. And I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this was a good fashion month. Like, I've had a really, 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 really nice time. And I'm also really enjoying being on my period again, which is really weird because why the fuck would anyone ever say that? But it's like, so I stopped taking the birth control pill recently. I've been taking it since I was 15 years old. And I kind of just like never gave myself a chance to have a normal period. Like, I got my period at 15 or 14, and then I got on the birth control pill like a couple months later because my periods were terrible and I had really bad acne, and I just never came off it. And then I came off of it recently because the pill stopped fixing my acne. Like, I started to get acne whilst I was on the pill, and I was like, well, that's a bit fucking pointless then, isn't it? Because it's a class 1 carcinogen, I'm pretty sure, and I've still got acne now, so what the fuck is the point? Bit useless. So I stopped the pill, and I also stopped getting dick, which is brilliant. Not so thrilled about that one, but whatever. I was like, there's no point for me to be on this shit anymore. Just poisoning myself. No fun. So came off the pill, and that means that my periods are now real, because they used to be fake. When you're on the pill, you get a fake period. You get a withdrawal bleed. It's different than a period. And now I get a real period, and that means my hormone fluctuations are also different, which means I am having more of the like typical experience of like ups and downs that most women would like describe around their cycle. And it's really fucking fun because not only have I kind of missed it, but it feels healthy. Like, I was in the car home yesterday coming back from London, from Paris, basically, and I'm on my period, right, for context, and I started to think about the fact that I'm gonna have to miss my dog's second birthday. I'm gonna miss Bugs' second birthday because I'm going to LA over her birthday, which is the end of October. And I started to think about it in the car, and I just started bawling my eyes out in the back of a fucking taxi, and it was really embarrassing. I don't know if the guy could tell. I had my headphones on, which I always feel like I'm invisible when I have them on. I'm definitely not. In fact, he could probably hear me crying, which is really embarrassing. But you know when you start crying over something that's actually not detrimental to your life, but the tears are streaming? Oh my God, give me that over sex any day, because the emotional release those kind of cries give, oh my fucking God, makes me horny. Like, tears flowing out my eyes over a situation that does make me sad, but is not going to ruin my life, and I don't feel hopeless, or I don't feel despair, or I don't feel fear. I'm just like sad, and I'm just letting it out through the medium of like 700 tears. Oh my God. And then I get tired after, because I'm like, it's, oh my God, it's like after sex nap. Like, it's so deliciously good. I love those kind of cries. Like, it's sad when it's happening because you're genuinely crying and you feel really just like, it's like pure sorrow. Like, I just feel sad about this one thing, and there's no confusion, there's no anger, there's no hurt, there's no what ifs. I'm just sad, and I'm also letting it out. Oh my God, it's so good. Had one of those cries, basically. And I don't get those kind of emotional releases that frequently. I think it's because I'm on my period. I think it's also because I'm sleep deprived a little bit. I'm also like a little bit just overwhelmed I think this week with the whole illness, the whole fashion month, the whole insecurity debacle, and then also having to miss my dog's birthday, that was just really the final straw. Also, my rabbit died. Kind of sucks. Her name was Daisy, if you care. She was really nice. She was 10. So it was her time. Honestly, probably should have got her put down a while ago. R.I.P. Everyone say R.I.P. You know what? The saddest part? One of the worst part? Oh my God, so sad. So she had a stroke and then my mum took her to the vet and put her down. She had a boyfriend, like a partner that she lived with, right? His name's Alvin. He's still alive. And my mum took them to the vet together so that he could like watch her die, because rabbits are meant to watch their partners die. I think all animals are meant to see it because they understand. Anyway, my mum takes them to the vet together, right? So Daisy dies. My mum takes Alvin home. She said he was making this noise when he got home. And I'm not laughing, it's not funny. It's so fucking sad. That's the saddest it's the most terrible thing I've ever heard in my life, I think. He was going, like, grieving. The rabbit was fucking grieving. Can life get worse? Don't think so. My rabbit was grieving. Oh my God. This shit, it's so sad. They're both rescues too. And I just feel like they found a home in each other and then she died. And it's like his third mate that's died. This fucking rabbit is so old. And we keep getting him new girlfriends because they can't live, well, they can live alone, but they're not meant to. It's like sad for them. So he had one girlfriend, she died. Another girlfriend, she died. Now his last one's died. But he's still like really healthy. And like, he's also like 10 or 9 and shows no signs of letting up anytime soon. So it's like, fuck, you need another one. My mum's been looking. If anyone's got a rabbit they want to rehome that's like old, let me know. Looking for one. I'm in the market. But yeah, he was grieving his girlfriend. It was horrible. And mind you, my mum is texting me all this as I'm on set, right, shooting for something that I can't tell you. But she'd also asked to see my outfits for the day because she really likes to see that kind of stuff. So I was like texting her about the rabbit dying and she was sending me picture updates because I asked to see Daisy as she was like being put down, basically. Like, I don't know if that's weird, but I went like see her at the vet and stuff because I felt bad for not being there with her. And meanwhile, I'm like trying to send my mum pictures, like, because I know she wants to see of me and like Prada and fucking Gucci. I'm like, this is my fit for this picture. And it just felt a little bit dystopian. You guys want to know something sad about Daisy, and then I'm going to go to bed. She is a rescue, and we have theorized that her owner before us was a girl who looks like me because she, like, my mum adopted her, and, like, she was, like, kind of hostile to my mum and, like, kind of scared of her and, like, wouldn't go to her, wouldn't, like, speak to her, like, just, like, hid in the hutch, basically. By hutch, I mean her 2-story back and front garden with tunnel that she has in the garden. Okay, this fucking rabbit does not have a hutch by any means, but she like, would not speak to my mum. And I came home one day and I like went to go see her because like, I'd never met her before. I was probably at uni when we got her or something. I don't know. I have no idea. No, we've had her not that long or longer. I don't know. Anyway, I like went to go see this new rabbit that we got, right? And she like immediately warmed to me. Like came straight over, like nestled up to me, like wanted to talk to me, wanted to play with me, and would let me touch her, hold her, whatever. And my mum always said, like, I think she must have come from, like, a young girl. Like, her old owner must have been around your age, and, like, maybe she had brown hair or something. And it always made us sad because, like, maybe that girl went to uni and her parents sold her pet, or, like, maybe she died. I don't know. And we've had Daisy probably, like, 4 years, because obviously she's a rescue. She died at 10 years old, but we had her maybe, like, 3 or 4 years. And I feel like whoever owned her before, this rabbit died missing her. And I could cry talking about it. It makes me so fucking sad because she did warm to my mum, but she always liked me. Like, I never gave this rabbit treats. I never cared for her. Like, I didn't clean her house. I didn't give her food. I didn't ever go and, like, play with her, really. And I barely even knew her. But, like, that's sad. I did know her. But, like, I really didn't spend that much time with this rabbit, and I didn't have her from a baby or anything. And she always, like, really liked me. And it makes me sad because it's like she never forgot her owner from before, kind of, because, like, she saw her in me, or she saw me in her, whatever, whichever way it goes. And, like, I don't know. It made me sad that I wasn't there for her to be put down because I was like, I feel like she misses her mum. I don't know. It's sad. Whoever you were, bitch, presuming nothing terrible happened to you, might fuck you up if I see you, because I think that rabbit died in love with you, and where were you? Unless it was a sad story and your parents sold her or you're dead, in which case, deepest deepest apologies. But I feel like you just maybe didn't keep the rabbit. I feel like maybe you just like gave her to the shelter, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and go to bed. And yeah, I don't know. That's it. I don't have anything else to tell you. I'm gonna go make a bowl of pasta actually, 'cause I'm fucking hungry. And yeah, that's it. I love you so much, and I will see you next week. Also, do we kind of like filming at night? Because I kind of think it's fun as fuck. I feel like it's kind of scary though. Okay, love you guys. Good night. I'm going to bed. Good night.